What is going on, everyone, and welcome to another episode of ToyShopFab. And on this episode, I'm going to show you how to easily and quickly get rid of a dent that looks like that. Yep, that's right. You're never even going to know any of this damage was here. And we're going to do that the quickest and the easiest and cheapest way I know how. And that's get on Marketplace, search and search and search till you find a door that's the same color and within the same years as your vehicle. That way you can replace it and it's like nothing ever happened. Ever. That's the quickest, easiest, cheapest way I know how. It may take a little while, but you're going to find it. And believe it or not, I got on Marketplace and I was able to find this door for 50 bucks, which is $20 cheaper than a used piece of glass I found on eBay. And that ran between $70 and $90. So when I found this door here on Marketplace, quickly called my wife, sent her about an hour up north to pick this door up because I found it while I was at work. And all of this happened while I was at work, and she's had to wait the last couple weeks for me to get home so we can get this replaced. Now, in case some of you are wondering, like that guy right there, this happens when you pick a fight with a light post and a cement barrier. The van lost, okay? And matter of fact, any vehicle is probably going to lose. So, try to stay away from the light posts. But this is electric window regulator, electric door locks, all that neat stuff. And as you can see on this one, well, this is a manual bottom of the barrel door, right? The cheapest. This came off like a work van. So manual windows, manual locks somewhere. There is no lock button. There it is right here. So you got to do it all by hand. That van is also electric mirror. So we got to change out the mirror as well. And well, first things first, before I start tackling the door on the van, I'm going to go ahead and get this door panel apart. And I'm going to go ahead and give this camera here to my little sidekick over there. Hello. Who's just enthused to be up here. Go ahead and give him the camera. That way he can do some recording for me. Show you guys how to get something like this off here. Because some of you... And this goes to actually quite a few different Ford vehicles where you come into a manual door crank like this, or window crank, and you're not quite sure how to get it off because some of the older ones, well, they have the little keeper, right? And you first look at this, it's a manual door or a manual window crank. It has the same washer between the crank and the door panel, so you would think there's a clip in there, but there is not. I'm going to show you how to get that off as well. So go ahead and hand you over here to my little sidekick. And let's show you how to get this off. All right, so first things first. For one, if you go look underneath the door handle here, you're going to see a Phillips screw. Okay, see that there? Now I've already backed that off. Okay, down here at the very bottom, you're going to see it's got a little cover like that. You can just use a little regular screwdriver or something, get underneath there. That pops off. Pull that screw out as well. Now, once you got those two screws out, on the corner of this little guy here on the door handle, you're going to see there's a little notch. You can get your regular screwdriver or call this a trim driver or a trim pry bar. Basically, you can get underneath there. It will pop up and just open the door handle, slide it out. It's got a couple little notches or little clips on the top and the side here to help hold it in place. You can get that out of the way. Now, one of the most important ones, here's your window crank. Get over here. Come on, sidekick. Now, put your guy here in the 12 o'clock position. You can actually do it in any position you want. 12 o'clock's easier. That way you can get it to 9 o'clock here and just kind of wiggle your little driver or your little trim panel tool. There. I don't know if you heard it, but it clipped right there. Go ahead and get on the 3 o'clock as well. Now you can do 6, you can do 3 to 6, 6 to 3, it doesn't really matter, just go side to side. And it'll unhook it. If you get in here, you're gonna see kind of a little hook there. on the inside of here, that's what this cover hooks onto. Can you see them? Mm-hmm. Okay. Then you can just pick up, move that out of the way. Inside here, we have a T20 Torx. So let's go ahead and get that guy out. Boom. Once he's out, then your window crank will pull just straight up. Boom. You can see here. Now you can kind of give you a close-up look on how that pops together. There, you see, it's got the little clips on the side there. And it just kind of holds itself in place. And this is just like to protect the door panel from your window crank. That way it doesn't eat through your door or your trim panel. But let's go ahead and get that guy on hook. Now, I'm not going to be needing these door panels or this window crank, but I do want to try to keep the hardware together. So who knows? Maybe somebody out there will need it. Door panel, trim, all that stuff. So we'll go ahead and put that off to the side. Put these guys off to the side. Now, next, up here, where your mirror's at. Now this has these, up here on the very top, a lot of these panels are like that. If you get underneath it, they usually snap in. So you can wiggle it around, you can see it kind of pulls, like in this area is where it feels like your clip is at. So get your little tool in there, about to where that, there you go. Yep, as you can see, that's how it clips. Boom. Same area, and then you got a little guy here that slides under the door panel that helps hold that in place. Now that's out of the way. Now you have another Phillips screw. We'll go ahead and get that out of the way as well. Boom. Phillips screw out. Now, it's been a while since I've done any doors like this. And if you are unaware or you're not quite sure how these things are held, what I like to do is, well, basically start at the bottom of the door. Because, well, let's face it, I have broken a lot of door panels. And it's easier to hide a broken door panel if it's broken at the bottom and not at the top. So I always like to start at the bottom, kind of get something in there, get yourself a screwdriver or something. Let me grab a flashlight. Oh, that one doesn't work. That one doesn't work. You only need one screwdriver or flashlights. There we go. So, grab a flashlight, get your little tool, your door panel tool up underneath there, and basically just kind of look, see if you can't figure out. There you go. See right there? Mm-hmm. Now that's telling me this door slides. So now that I figured that part out, screws off, that's off. Let's see if it'll slide up. Nope. Which means there's something else holding it down. Maybe. See if this guy comes off. Nope. Boom, boom. Trying to find another. Okay. It's got a spot there that tells me that should slide forward. Yep, right there. So once you get, there you go, right here. See, it's always, that does pay to look around. Get your finger, see that? There's what I missed. This guy right here. Now, don't laugh. Don't make fun of me, okay? It could happen to anybody. All right. So now that that screw is out, let's try this again. There you go. Look at that. Did you see that? No matter how hard I wanted to pull. It's a good thing I stopped though. Now that that's off, we'll go ahead and tilt this little guy that way. Boom. It gets over our lock. Now our door panel is off, and you can see on the back side here, once you get all the screws out, it just sits on and slides down. And that's what holds it on. These are actually hold on fairly tight. You can see here too, it also, the top of the door hooks into the weather strip or the window seal, the window trim here. That's what helps hold that door on. And this one is in really, really good shape. So, oh yeah, this one is in really good shape. If I want to save that, might be better than mine. So, door panel's off. Windows seal is off. Let's pull it out that way I don't ruin it. Tools and everything underneath there. Now you can see here too, this door has not been gotten into before. If it has, they did a really good job by replacing or not damaging the moisture barrier here. So now this has to come off, get out of my way. And you can see I'm doing a really good job by not destroying it. Get up underneath there. Try to do it without destroying it, because I do want to put it back on. It does help cut down on moisture between the door from inside here and the door panel. It does help cut down on wind noise, all kinds of other stuff. So truthfully, it might even work out better if there it is. Found it. Found it. All right. Grab this guy right here, heat gun. Because it is kind of cool out today, and we all know stickers and all that other stuff, well, they don't like to be messed with when it's cold outside. But if you can warm it up a little bit, could help. Obviously flip that roll the wrong way. Okay, so plug that guy in. And if you're wondering where to get one of these little heat guns, this one I picked up at Harbor Freight many, many years ago. But you can get right on the edge here where like it works. It does help sometimes. Just warm up the edge of your moisture barrier here where all the sticky is. I don't know what you call it. Adhesive. There you go. There you go. See that? Now that it's starting to peel up and I'm not having to force it. See? But you do want to be kind of careful, because if you heat it up too fast or get too close or hold it there for too long, you will stretch or shrink your moisture barrier. And you could tear it or damage it that way as well. As you can see, I kind of started doing it right here because I held it too long. So just be careful. And now we're just warming up the adhesive. Don't want to damage it. Should be, there you go. Now you can see the difference. You can see all the moisture's coming up with it. Here's another tip too. How many, if you guys got one of those belt sanders, right? Or you get one of those with the little 6 or 8 inch grinding, the side that with the grinding paper, and you ever have a hard time getting those off of your DAs or your belt sanders or bench grinders and stuff like that, put some heat to it. They come right off as well. Instead of having to sit there with a razor blade or trying to peel off piece by piece, this will save you a lot of headache. And all I'm doing is just warming up the adhesive. Putting some life back in it, I guess. But if you don't care about the adhesive, tear it off. That's faster, truthfully. Okay. Let's see what we got. Got our little speaker here, which is also a T20 Taurus. So, door and window cranks, T20. The little screws that hold on our speaker inside here is a T20. So that's good. Four T20 screws. We'll go ahead and pull our speaker out. You can see here, we've got one little plug on our speaker. Now, come here. You're over here, sidekick. Now, easy plug. got this guy right here. Sometimes it's easier just to push the plug in a little bit, then push on the tab, and then your plugs come right off. Sometimes you ever sit there and pull on it and you're trying to get it off or whatever and it doesn't come out, push the plug in first, then push the tab. It'll help release it from the little clip it's on. And here's another neat little trick too for some of you. If you don't want to lose your screws, stick them to the magnet. And put your speaker, make sure to put your speaker on the ground where you cut metal. Don't do that. I don't know if that speaker works. So. All right, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go ahead and just finish heating up our adhesive on my moisture barrier here. Get the moisture barrier off. I'll be right back. All right, now that we have our moisture barrier removed from our door, next thing I want to do is get our window detached or disconnected or off of our manual window crank, our manual window regulator. And some of you know that these windows and most of these doors, the window regulators, the door handles, a lot of these things are held in with these big old rivets here. Now the body is aluminum and the center pin of our rivets are kind of a soft steel. They have to be because they break when these two get tight, when they're finished pinching the two pieces of metal together. This pin has to break and it usually leaves this little guy here in. Now, sometimes you can get a center punch and smack the center of this and it will knock the pin out. And then you can get a big old drill bit like that to drill off our bodies. But sometimes it doesn't quite work out that way. That center pin does not want to come out. Now, some of you may say, hit it harder. That is a good way of getting it out. Yes, it's also a good way of putting a big old dent on the bottom side of your door, and kind of defeats the purpose of changing it. So if you want to hit it harder, go right ahead. Me, on the other hand, if it doesn't smack out right away, and I don't want to risk breaking this window because these windows are held to our regulators the same way. So I'm going to show you how I like to do it to help to minimize, the shock or minimize the chance of breaking our glass or denting our door. So we'll go ahead and give the camera back to my little sidekick over here. And I'm going to show you guys how to remove these rivets one way. So, all right. Now sometimes you can get away with using a really big bit, just like this. Let's see here. Now this is a 1/2-inch bit. You can take a center punch. Come on over here, bud. Get up on the top of this pin. Smack it a couple times. Like I said, it'll leave a little bit there. And then sometimes this guy will ride that center pin. Now, it is two different metals. One's aluminum, one's kind of a soft steel. So they're going to cut at two different speeds. That does not always work. Sometimes you got to get a bit like this guy here. You can see this little guy. And this bit is barely big enough or barely bigger than our center pin itself. So if we get over here, let's see here. As a matter of fact, move this out of the way. Come on over here, bud. I'm gonna roll this window up just in case I slip. Don't want to be doing that. Now you can see, get this guy out of the way as well. Now you can see this pin right here. I've already gone ahead and tried to center punch it out. Now we're just gonna drill it. Now, because it is it's mild steel, whoop, see, it will slip off sometimes. No big deal. But you can kind of follow it around a little bit. Start off slow. And sometimes you will have to kind of chase it around a little bit. Now these top pins, these top rivets, you can use a die grinder or a cutoff wheel. You can cut these off up here. The reason I'm showing you this method up here is because it's kind of hard to get a die grinder in between our skin here and what holds this window in. This window is held in the same way with these rivets. And sometimes you can't get a a die grinder in here. Matter of fact, I will show you right now. And that is the only reason. I'm going to take a cutoff wheel and cut these off. But if you get right here, see right here? Looks like you can reach it with a die grinder right here. So I'm going to stop doing what I'm doing and get a cutoff wheel or a die grinder on that one, because that one you can. But this one down here, if you look, this one is, you can only really get to it through this hole. And you can see I've already drilled that one out. Now another spot you might be able to get to it is right here. See, here's the closest spot after that. And that's through the speaker hole, and that's way up in here. So sometimes you can't get to those rivets any other way. You got to drill them out. And that's what I wanted to show you. So just for the sake of argument, I'm going to go ahead and can finish drilling this one rivet out, just so you can see that it can be done that way for those hard to reach rivets. The other ones, we're just going to take a cutoff wheel and cut those out. So, Alright, now you can see right here. See, I was able to drill that pin almost all the way flush with our rivet. Now let's see if the center pin will knock, or our center punch will knock that pin the rest of the way out. There you go, see? So now that we've got that the rest of the way out, you can use a bigger drill bit on a drill. That'll help. See, I don't know if you can get back there. Yeah, you can. But you can see here, now if that center pin is out, you can take the larger drill bit, drill the whole top side of our rivet out. Sometimes it's a little difficult if you can't get something behind the rivet to keep it from moving. You can go ahead and drill the rest of the center out. That might soften it up a little bit. There you go. See? So, ooh, that's warm. So all I did was stick the smaller bit in there, lean it over, and that'll cut, kind of trim the top of that center of that rivet out up to the center, up to the body, outside of the body, and really not do anything to damage the hole that it came out of. So, but that is one way to do it. Long, yes, I know, but sometimes that's the only way you can get to some of these rivets. Now, all the rest of them that you can get to, we're going to go ahead and get ourselves this guy right here. Let's get ourselves an old-fashioned cutoff wheel. Now you do want to take your time because you don't want to hit the door. You can see I just scraped it right there. No big deal. But you see how fast I was able to get through that pin. And how, so you see how much quicker that was for me to get through that center pin. Just cut a little accident, then use my center punch to knock it out. So cutoff wheel. Next, you could definitely get away with a Dremel with a really, really small bit get in there, that's another way to do it too. So that's how you get the rivets out. Next, what I want to do is get our door handle and our latch out. Go ahead and cut this guy off here. That holds our window regulator. So we got the cable here for our door handle. So you can see our handle is held in with a Phillips screw. Screwdriver, where's that at? Go ahead and get that guy out. The cool thing is, regardless of the year of vehicle, as you saw here, we had a Phillips screw here. This cover popped off. We have a screw here, another screw here in the door panel. That van being 4 years newer than this, the inside's different, like the panel, the locks, and all that other stuff. But all of the mounting points of the panel on that door are the same. All the screws, the hardware locations look to be the same. So that's really cool. Anyways, door handle's off. Now what holds our latch to this side of the door, come on over here, bud, is a T25 Torx. Now it's always safer to use a ratchet to get these off because you could risk stripping the inside of your screws out, and then then you got to get a cut-off wheel, turn it into a regular screwdriver head, something like that. So, but it wasn't too bad right now. Now you got your door handle here, and you got this clip. Come on over here. It's pretty self-explanatory. Just push the ends, push it through. Now we have the 3 screws out of our latch. Go ahead and bring it up over. Should be able to pull it straight down so you can get it out of the way. But before I continue to take this off, I'm going to show you guys too. These have a this type of clip here. So this is how you would adjust like your door lock or your outside door handle. Come over here. So you can see it's kind of like a 2-piece clip. To get it off, there's a little tab right here. Should be able to just rotate it out. If you're able to get a screwdriver or a clip or something underneath that tab, it should just pop right off. There you go. See, opens up, kind of a hinge. And then this guy will pop right out. Now it's threaded. That's kind of how it's, you adjust it on this rod here. And this is our outside door handle rod. That's what opens it. And then you have our lock here, which is held on. Doesn't look, I'm not going to get it off this guy. So what we have to do is get our door handle, our door lock out. And if I can get it out of our door, I will show you on the outside how to get it off. So, door lock's held in by this clip. Just get a screwdriver, or even like you saw my fingers, just get in there and pull it off. And if you come on over here, bud, I'll push the lock through the door and show you how it is attached to our, there. So you can see how it is attached to our door handle. So the key clip, this goes to the handle that locks it. Now if you're on the inside of the door and you don't want to take the lock out, you can get something in here and just push the sides open and slide it off, or do what I did, which is a lot easier. Just pull the clip out, drop your lock to the outside of the door, and just rotate it off. So we're not using this lock. I don't have the key for it. And here you go. That's how the door handle comes out. It is now out of our way. I am going to leave the door handle in because it is the same on both vehicles, location and style. So all I got to do is kind of swap out just our lock cylinder. And if you're wondering how this door handle is held into this door, just like everything else, rivets. You can see they can kind of be a pain, so we're going to leave that alone. Now, window track is, I'm going to go ahead and leave the outside tracks in place because I believe those are the same. The only other thing I do have to do though is finish drilling these two rivets out so I can get our manual window crank out of the way. And I'm going to finish detaching the window. So we'll go ahead and get those out, get our manual crank out of there, and be right back. All right, finished getting our manual crank window out of our door shell here. Went ahead and just finished I got everything out, drilled all the rivets, got our manual crank out. Went ahead over to the door that was on the van itself and drilled out all those rivets as well. Pulled all of the electronics, the electric window regulator, door lock, door latch, everything out of that door shell and installed it into this one. Now, even though these two doors are of different years and one's electric and one is manual, all of the mounting points are the same. Now, I get it if you were to put the two door panels next. Matter of fact, we'll do that right now, just so I can give you guys kind of a reference of what I mean. 2 different years, 2 different panels. One's manual, one's electric. Cool thing about Ford on a lot of these stuff here is that they made all of our mounting points pretty much the same. So here's our manual crank door, and you can see it is a much older design of a door panel. Here is our new door panel. Now you come up here where this door handle's at, you can see where the Phillips screw was that attached this panel to this door. Come over here and we have the same spot. Come up here to the top under the mirror, boom. Same over there as well. Come down here to the corner, all the way over here, same corner. And they all both have the hooks and they both slide in and out of place. Now our manual window was riveted here. Our electric window is put back on the same spot. So the electric window regulator and manual window regulator were both held in the same way. The center track here, both electric and manual, held in the same way. As a matter of fact, the difference between the two electric and manual window regulators, if I can find it now, is, well, here we go. It's over here. So here's our manual one. Now this would be the bottom of the door. This would be the top of the door. Go ahead and turn it around. It has the 2 bolts or the 2 nuts on top. Drill the rivets out. Here is our regulator. Gets riveted to the door and our handle's here. Now the electric one sits in the same spot, has an electric motor instead of this guy here. Cable routing is the same. Everything is the same. Inside, outside tracks are the same. This is our door latch from that door right there. All bolts in the same. So super, super cool. Ford did this with a lot of their vehicles and makes it easy to find parts that you need and kind of switch everything over. So, but now that I got the mirror in there, I got everything that I need swapped over, I'm gonna go ahead and knock these hinges off. They are 13 millimeter. I left the original ones on the front pillar of this van because, well, they're set already. So, get a 13 on there, knock out these bolts. I got a swivel on there, but all right, so hinges are off. You can see here, same holes, same spots for the doors for our electrical harness to go through. That's going to be real easy. I'm going to go ahead and get Seth over here to help me hold this door up. We're going to go ahead and just pick it up, bring it over to the van, hold it up to our factory hinges, start the bolts. As a matter of fact, I'll probably use these bolts that I took out of this door because, well, I know they fit. So, all right, let's get this door on. All right. Now that we've got Ashley behind the camera, say hi, Ashley.
Hello.
Got Seth help me out. Jake.
Yeah.
Ashley. Hold those. All right, you ready, bud?
Sure am.
Okay, go ahead. Watch out for all the tools you got going on over there. It is a little dark, I get it. Okay. Yep, you gotta go down, like, move your hands in a way that you got it. I don't want you to be uncomfortable. Got it? Yep. Okay. All right, door has been installed on the van, and at first glance, you would never ever be able to tell that this door does not belong to this van or did not come on this van to begin with. You can see our body line is pretty even going from top to bottom. Body lines look like they line up pretty good. Heck, the door even opens and shuts pretty darn smoothly. Now, the only problem we have now on this is I took the bolts out of our hinges going into the door and never touched the hinges on our pillar in here. Now, the ones on the door will allow the door to move in or out, and the ones on the pillar would allow it to move up or down. And if you look here, here's our door. Here's our fender, and you can see the door body line is a little bit lower than our fender. But come up here, you can see, you can tell here, I can't exactly lift the door because then the door would overlap our windshield pillar here and it would look kind of goofy. Matter of fact, what happened during the damage that occurred to the door is that fender looks like it got pushed up just a little bit. In that, you can see overlaps right here. The fender is just a little bit higher than our hood, and the distance from here to here is about how much this is off. So I will have to get into the fender to drop it down a little bit to get our body lines to line up, but for the most part, everything lines up pretty darn good with the van. And it is, well, besides the door being slightly cleaner than the rest, pretty good close for a color match. So doors hung, all our bolts are installed on our hinges. The door opens and closes very, very well. And now what I have done is, here is our original harness, just plugged right into the side of the door like our original door did. Ran it through on the inside, plugged in our mirror, so our mirror wiring comes from there, plugs in right here. Our original clips. This door has all the original holes, or all the same mounting locations for our harness as the original door did. Here is our speaker. Then our harness comes through this hole here, and each spot plugs into the door like it did on the original. Power windows. This guy comes through the gap here, clips on the other side this way, and goes to our power lock servo, which is back in there. And of course here we've got door locks and windows. So now that I have our wiring harness ran through the door and plugged in where it's supposed to be, I'm going to go ahead and take our original moisture barrier, install it on the door. Now, you guys saw I took a heat gun. There is a little bit of sticky left to our moisture barrier, so it should stick on no problem as of right at the way it is right now. But I'm going to back it up with some like fabric style electrical tape. Now it is fabric. You can see the little fibers coming off the end there. It's sticky. This is the same stuff they use for making wire looms inside the car. It should handle the environment quite well. Even though this still has some stick left to it, we're just going to help it out by putting a strip of this over our moisture barrier and help just attach it to the door. So we'll go ahead and grab our moisture barrier, get it stuck up where it goes originally, outline it with some of our fabric electrical tape here, and I'll come back and I will show you guys what it looks like. All right, moisture barrier is installed. As you can see, here is our outline of our tape. Actually looks pretty darn good, almost professional. Maybe if I just clean that up a little bit there. Perfect, right? Looks almost professional. Moisture barrier is installed. Now, if you don't have tape like this, you can use regular electrical tape. Maybe the glue that comes in the can with the little fuzzy applicator, if you know what I'm talking about. Weather strip adhesive, you could probably use that on here as well. Regular masking tape. I've even seen people not put them back on, but I prefer it back in place. It's kind of a layer of protection between our door panel, everything in the door. So it is now installed. Now the only thing left to do is get our door panel back on, and it is really, really simple. Just like you guys saw me pull it off of the other door. It has these little hooks right here. Turn this around. As you can see, all these little hooks, and basically all you have to do is get it up over the door. Make sure you get our little lock knob installed. Line each one of those hooks up with these holes here that they go into. Line the edge of our door right here up with the edge of our weather strip right here. Make sure everything is lined up. Slide it down to where each hole lines up with this clip here for our Phillips screw, and the top part of our door lines up here. Then it's simple as just installing our screws, putting this little cover back on, and our trim piece to our mirror. Don't forget, for your electric, to plug in your wiring harness. So get you in the stand, do a little time lapse of me installing this door panel just so you can kind of see how it's installed. And then we'll be back with the finished product. All right, door panel is installed. Lock button. So our locks work. That's good. Window down. Window up. Everything works. And here's what she looks like with the door panel installed. Now remember, this door is a few years older than our original door. But like I said, everything, all the mounting holes, and how the door panels and all line up were the same. This is a 2009 van. I believe the door came off of a 2006 and will fit much later. I think, don't quote me, I want to say to 2012, maybe a couple years newer, but door fits, it shuts very, very nicely. And like I said, can't even tell. We were lucky enough to find a door that was the same color as my wife's van on Marketplace, and like I said, we got it for a killer deal, 50 bucks. I couldn't find a cheap used window for less than 70, so that worked out really, really well. And truthfully, if you're not standing here or you're not recording, or you could have this done in just a couple of hours. It's really, all I did was change out the door, is get in here. Here's our inside bolts that just bolt to the door to our hinges. And if for any reason you actually did need to replace the hinges, this is a stud right here. So you got to pull the nut off, get to the 13 back there. If you can, there you go, it focuses there. And then on this bottom one, you have a 13 bolt back here. And on this hinge, it's a stud. So if you need to get to this bolt, this panel comes off. There is an opening in here that will allow you to get to this stud. That way you can get the hinges off if you needed them. But that is just in case. So, but we are all done. You did, however, see me there. I want to show you guys a little bit of a trick too for some of you that may not know. This window was tinted. I did have to remove the tint. As you can see, it is no longer tinted, and there is no residue of the adhesive that was on our tint. And that's because I used, well, let's use this window right here. My wife's, you can see that it is dark. I'm using this window so you can see all of the dirt and everything that is on there. And this is quadruple zero steel wool. You can, and I like to use window cleaner, Windex, whatever you got. Water works just well as well, soapy water. If you spray the window with it, kind of help lubricate our steel wool. You can use steel wool or the quadruple zero on the glass to remove adhesive, tree sap, sticker goo, you know, anything, paint overspray. If you've ever spray painted around your car, do not use this on paint unless you want to take the paint off. Glass, it's okay. So get around everything. And I'm doing this to show you that it will not harm your glass. Just make sure you keep plenty of cleaner or lubricant or soap on your window. That way it doesn't dry up. And just go around the edges. There we go. So, all right. And once you think you have your window clean, grab your paper towels. I like to use these blue ones because they don't leave a whole lot of lint, if any. There we go. Make sure it's nice and dry. Oh, we got hard water spots on the glass. That's right. But so you can see there how much cleaner the window is. I'll get up close so you can see the hard water spots, but it did not leave any scratches. So as you can see, it wasn't even aggressive, so aggressive that we were able to take the water spots off the window. See if that helps. Maybe put in a little elbow grease. Oh yeah, there we go. Press a little harder, you'll get the water spots off. So you can see there's a demonstration on how that it's not so aggressive that it will scratch your glass. You really have to put into it a little bit to even get water spots off. So if you've got stickers or old tint or something, goo you need to get off your window, don't be afraid to use quadruple zero steel wool. You can get it at your auto parts stores or Home Depot or Lowe's, Atwoods, places like that. That's where I got it. So, but that is it. My magic trick is complete. Cheapest, quickest, easiest way I can think of to, well, fix the dent in the door. Let's go on Marketplace, see if you can't find one that matches your vehicle. Haggle the guy down. Pick it up, bring it home, change it out, done. Don't have to go to a paint shop, don't have to paint match nothing, don't have to blend the fender or the rear doors. This thing matches perfectly. And really all I have to do now is to be 100%, grab some dirt, throw it on there so it matches the rest. But hope this helps some of you guys out. I know it's not a very exciting video, but I do know that it will help somebody, I hope, that has somewhat of a situation, that lost a fight with a light pole or a boulder, or maybe they come out from the supermarket and the student driver turned a little sharp parking. It has happened. So, but that's going to do it for this video. Hope this helps some of you guys out. Hope you like the video. Make sure to hit that subscribe button. Leave a comment down below. Tell me what you guys think. And heck, even if you've got a better way of cleaning windows, let me know. Thank you guys again for watching. Hope you enjoyed. And I'll catch you on the next one.